bar downstairs will be open during the cruise, serving tea, coffee, soft drinks, wines and spirits. I hope you enjoyed the trip this morning. Thank you.
I'm loving the wing mirrors.
That guy's a baby.
Well, taps off. What's they say?
Definitely not with me.
My dad used to have a boat on the Loch when I was younger. I used to keep it up in Balmaha.
What kind of boat was it?
It was only like a wee sort of an 8-man boat or something. It was similar to sort of these things here, a bit bigger. A bit bigger than these things.
Awesome. Did you get good?
Oh, it was amazing. A lot of camping, a lot of time spent on the Loch when you were younger, you know. Didn't realise how good it was.
Until you don't have a boat.
Until your dad goes and loses your boat. But it was brilliant.
This is someone's job as well, just to take boat trips.
Hang about outside, talk about the history and stuff.
Love that.
See, the thing is as well, when you get people that are enthusiastic about it, it's amazing. It's just people having fun talking about stuff they enjoy, you know?
Yeah. Get paid for it.
In Glasgow as well, you know, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, and you're right out in the middle of open space. Everybody from inner city should get a wee bit of open space every now and again.
It's good that they put up like those laws as well, like camping permits, because I think they're returning it. People that were camping were returning it to
Welcome to Loch Lomond, known as the Queen of Scottish Lochs. It's the largest expanse of fresh water in Great Britain.
Isn't it?
23 miles long, 5 miles wide, and at the northern end, 636 feet deep, making it the third deepest in Scotland. The River Leven, which we're now leaving, is the Loch's only outlet, running from here into the River Clyde and from there into the Atlantic Ocean. The area is home to an abundance of wildlife, and its history is as rich as the landscape that surrounds these mysterious waters. It's a place where kings have trod and outlaws have roamed. It has inspired writers, musicians and artists for generations. It was during the Victorian era that Loch Lomond gained renown. Visitors were drawn from across the world, thanks in large part to the romantic novels of the likes of Tobias Smollett and Sir Walter Scott. Day trippers would travel here by train from Glasgow to cruise on board large paddle steamers like the one we're passing on the left. This is the Maid of the Loch, the very last paddle steamer to be built in Britain. She was built in 1953 on the River Clyde in Glasgow, which was, between the late 19th century and the early 1950s, the world's premier shipbuilding city. She represents those bygone days when she and many ships like her would sail the length of the Loch filled with visitors. These ships also provided a valuable mail and transportation service to the local communities. As with her vehicles, mounting maintenance and running costs saw the ship retire in 1981. She now stands as a monument to both Glasgow shipbuilding and Loch Lomond's steam-powered pass.
I'm going to grab my bag. There's where all the expensive, that's all the posh boats.
The posh boats.
Next to Cameron House. There's a wee golf course up there and stuff. Like lots of places, it's divided east and west. One for the paupers, one for the rich folk.
There's a castle
The
as
birth
well.
of the Industrial Revolution in Great Britain saw the establishment of Glasgow and the River Clyde as both the world's premier shipbuilding city and as a major shipping port to Europe and the Americas. This brought a booming wealth to the area in the 1800s. The trade routes which saw Glasgow flourish, trading textiles from Europe to the Caribbean, sugar and molasses to America, and tobacco to Glasgow. At one time, 50% of all the tobacco in Europe had arrived via Glasgow. The wealthiest of these Glasgow tobacco lords were able to live the lavish lifestyles of aristocrats, building European-style villas in Glasgow and the surrounding area. While millionaires today buy super yachts, the equivalent of hundreds of grand country mansions for hunting and fishing, for which the land around Loch Lomond primes. As we move along this western shore, we'll pass just a few of these houses built by the super-rich tobacco barons, shipbuilders and merchant bankers.
It's definitely going to go down as a first. First time I've been asked for somebody to take a picture in my glasses.
Because it's like. I'll be an
See the wind mirror, look?
Oh!
You get a nice wee breeze. Like darling, go up top. Go right forward.
You want to do the Titanic?
Excuse me a wee sec, guys.
The large building we're passing on our
Excuse me.
left
Excuse me a wee
is
second.
Cameron House. Cameron House was built in the 18th century by the Smollett family, shipbuilders and merchants, whose most famous member was
There's
the poet
Cameron
and
House
novelist Tobias Smollett. Such was the wealth and influence of the Smollets, the house has welcomed a few famous guests in its time. Former Prime Ministers Winston Churchill and Anthony Eden, as well as Empress Eugenie of France, have all visited here. As was the case with many ancestral homes across Britain, the costs of upkeep, staff and servants became unsustainable for the family. It was sold in 1986, and after extensive additions to the original building, Cameron House was converted into a luxury 5-star hotel. Nowadays, famous faces walking through the old corridors belong to pop stars or football players. The late Michael Jackson once described the hotel and Loch Lomond as one of his favourite places to visit. Unfortunately, due to a fire in the main building in December 2017, Cameron House has been closed while major refurbishments take place. It is hoped the hotel will be fully operational again in the near future.
I'd like to go to that castle. And there's another castle.
To the islands. Would you not build your house here?
See, the thing is, then last time
These are the islands my dad used to take us camping to when we were younger. You
I
know?
don't know whether we're going to go near the islands today.
I imagine we might go by them.
What does that say over there? Is that a house or a letter? I think it's a house. Oh, that's a dock bay, Marina. That's the where we sometimes go for a big coffee.
be in a whatever meal we had. Fresh.
See, you can see on Sunday in this weather.
Look at the sky.
See, just seeing good weather, I just want to get naked all the time.
Softly, gently. I'm gonna take a picture of the sky and the clouds. Wait, I know usually we see cloud, but this is like a smoke.
Darling, they're not clouds, they're chemtrails.
What?
Nothing, man. Making a joke.
They are clouds.
I know.
The seamstress does not want people to come out.
These are too cold.
Well, she's a very quiet person. It's kind of she's not somebody who pushes.
Get the lens out. It's a shame you can't go and get a wee glass of wine.
You go. You guys go. Abby's free to drink. It's nice for her to have a wee break. It's for sitting down as well, I think.
With that bench? I don't think so. I think it's for drinks and stuff.
I thought you can sit facing
You
this
could
way.
probably sit, but I don't know if it would take.
Take the weight.
Fat American tourists sitting on it.
Miles long. This is 23 miles. 5 miles broad. Yeah.
I never really
That's
thought.
horrible to be in the middle of your.
Sorry, I know.
You know what I mean?
Breaking up there. Wow, wee man. Imagine if a jet ski on this time. Let's go and find a wee island to chill out on for a bit. No, we're not, I don't think we're going to get off of it.
I thought we were going to take it quite near one island.
He's the captain of the ship. Like, he's not even watching the road. The captain's not watching the road. He's not. Excellent.
You stand here and bring 16
And I'll come back with you. Don't mind going for a wee walk.
Looking now from the shore to our left and to the shoreline on the far
Right
right,
here, that one.
this is the widest part of Loch Lomond. It's a distance of 5 miles. As you look towards each shore, you may be able to notice a line can be drawn between the hills on each side and the nearby islands ahead. This is the Highland Boundary Fault Line. It's a geological fault created when the land that formed Scotland crashed together 500 million years ago. This line runs across the width of the country and separates the highlands from the lowlands. This can also be seen in the surrounding landscape as the rolling hills and meadows of the lowlands behind make way for the rugged peaks of the highlands ahead. In just a few minutes, we will cross this boundary and enter the Scottish Highlands. This fact earns Loch Lomond the title the Gateway to the Highlands.
That's where the West Highland Way is. It's an old cattle run, I do believe. You stand corrected on that, but I believe the West Highland Way is where a lot of the old farmers used to drive their cattle down to Glasgow to market. And I don't know if you know what he's talking about here. He's talking about the hills, that island there, and then those hills there. A big boundary, and that's where the lowlands meets the highlands. Oh, sorry there.
Tea, coffee, beer. There we go.
I'm alright with that, but you have it.
I'm not having a ginger tea.
No, I'm okay just now. I might get something to say. Woo! You behaving yourself?
I wish I'd brought my main talk. It's
You know, I've not even I didn't even bring anything myself.
okay. You want a tea or coffee? Abby's going to get something to drink, so give her a shout. What do you want?
Where's
Going to get some drink mix or anything, so what would you like to drink?
I'm okay, darling. Might go down and get a wee beer in a wee second. Sorry? Any beer. Look, darling, I'll go down and get it in a wee second, it's okay.
Before the Industrial Revolution of 1800s, the meeting of these two contrasting landscapes was reflected in the meeting of two contrasting cultures. The hardier, more traditional Highland clans and the increasingly civilised and cultured Lowlanders. This melting pot situation often led to disagreements and conflict. Not far from here, just behind the hills to our left, lies Glen Fruin, or Glen of Sorrow. Glen Fruin is the site of one of the most gruesome battles in Scotland's history. In 1603, the dispute between two rival clans, Coon and MacGregor, culminated in the two meeting for a pitched battle in the Glen. Despite being outnumbered 2-1, the MacGregors managed to vanquish the forces, and what began as a battle became a massacre. Legend has it that 200 to 300 casualties Coon suffered. The MacGregors' casualties were but a handful. Some reports suggest that even the Cahoon women who were there to tend the injured were massacred along with their kinsmen. Such was the viciousness of the MacGregor onslaught that King James IV had their clan chiefs executed and decreed that the MacGregor name was to be abolished on pain of death, a judgment that would not be lifted until 1775, 172 years later.
of the ship, of the ship. The ship is a tanker. Kit is fill in the blanks. I'm the captain of the ship. He's warmer, is that what it is?
Well, we've got our tea. Do you not think it's quite cool to have that level?
He's getting cold in the lovely Scottish summer.
I know. I'm in the
It's slowly in there if you want one.
It's not even like this.
Whilst Scotland and the British Isles were formed 500 million years ago, it may surprise you to know that Loch Lomond only dates back 12,000 years to the
You can even do this in the winter in here.
As the ice that covered Scotland began to melt,
No, it doesn't move.
canyon into the land. In its early years, Loch Lomond was connected to the sea before the land suddenly rose up, trapping the water, which is replenished by abundant rivers surrounding the hills. The Loch's catchment area for rainfall is 270 square kilometres, and its water level fluctuates by as much as 3 meters between seasons. It shows a variety of mammals, including wildcats, deer, goats, as well as around 200 species of birds that inhabit or visit the Loch's sea. The most renowned has been the The Loch itself is also renowned for most species of fish, including salmon and sea
Little wisps.
It is also a rare type of freshwater herring, globally found in 3
Yes, that water.
Do you want me to take a wee picture of
Let me get a selfie stick. Selfie stick. I've never never used to
The
tell
show like
us.
any novel,
No, you can take a picture of it.
the world famous championship. Designed by the golf course architect. The second and most famous is the Loch Lomond golf course, designed by the American golfer Tom Weiskopf. Golf magazine ranks the top 50 in the world.
I'm telling you, keep a wee eye in my bag. Keep a wee eye in my bag.
Membership fees are increased from £100,000. Membership is the famous Prince Andrew short.
It's nice and warm down there, right enough. Hottest day of the year. Need to go on below deck to stay warm in Scotland. Sea legs. Somebody out in our boat. Right, everybody, I'm away. Get out there and enjoy it. Hopefully you enjoy it.
Looking again to our left, a large mountain with the shoulders on either side is the iconic Ben Lomond. Ben Lomond stands at 3,192 feet and is the most southerly of Scotland's 282 Munros. Munro being a Scottish mountain over 3,000 feet high, and its name in Gaelic means Beacon Mount, and it was a useful northern marker for travellers. It may surprise you to know that it is in fact the loch that is named after the mountain. There are a number of Ben Lomonds around the world, in Tasmania, New Zealand, California and Utah, all of them named after the one you see here today by Scottish settlers keen to remind themselves of a little bit of home.
A wee bit of history before we go. Have a good one.